Turning Point USA founder Charlie Kirk was meant to be speaking at a local church in Seattle, Washington, but the event was canceled after violent anarchists threatened to burn the church down and harm its leaders if the event went ahead. NTD's Eileen Ang brings us more.
On Sunday, Charlie Kirk posted a video responding to a church event he was supposed to speak at. Threats forced the event to be canceled.
I'm not gonna lie. I was supposed to go to Seattle, Washington, speak at a church, talk about the Bible, liberty, freedom, our nation.
The event was called An Afternoon with Charlie Kirk. It was scheduled on May 2nd at Motion Church, south of Seattle. But on Friday, the church announced the cancellation. The pastor cited lack of police protection and violent threats against Kirk and the church.
Radical terrorist mobs, like the ones that rallied in Capitol Hill in Seattle, they sprung into action. They sprung with threatening declarations. They vowed to not only burn our properties to the ground, but also brought threats of physical violence against our church leadership, our neighbors, their properties, and basically wreak havoc in our community. This precious community that we love.
Kirk praised the pastor for his decision to put the public's safety first. He criticized the government for not doing its job.
I guess the new blueprint is get 1,200 people in masks with weapons and the event can get canceled. That is not a government that protects our natural rights. That is a government that panders to the people in the streets that are willing to use violence as a means for political power.
Kirk concludes by urging viewers to share the video. He apologized for not being able to go to the event. Eileen Ang, NTD News, California.
The mayor of Portland, Oregon, is striking a new tone after months of riots in the city. He's calling on residents to help unmask the people behind the ongoing violence. He also extended the city's state of emergency over the weekend.
Scenes like this have become the norm in Portland, but on Friday, Mayor Ted Wheeler made his most urgent appeal yet. He's asking the public to help take back the city.
We must stand together as a community against this ongoing criminal intimidation and violence.
Wheeler's asking residents to help authorities put an end to the nightly violent protests and riots that have plagued the city for nearly 11 months. Whoever has information about the self-described anarchists committing these crimes are being urged to contact the police. But Wheeler made it clear he isn't asking citizens to become violent or confront people themselves.
Our job is to unmask them, arrest them, and prosecute them.
The mayor's previously been accused of not doing enough to stop the violent riots in his city and of being too sympathetic toward the rioters, who usually claim they're advocating for justice or protesting against police brutality. But Wheeler said on Friday the rioters don't want things to improve in Portland.
The city is beginning to recover, but self-described anarchists who engage in regular criminal destruction don't want things to open up, to recover. They want to prevent us from doing the work of making a better Portland for everyone. They want to burn, they want to bash.
Portland's dealt with unrest since the spring of 2020. Many of those who've committed crimes are members of the far-left anarcho-communist network, Antifa. Others have identified as Black Lives Matter activists. However, most of those arrested and charged haven't faced punishment because the area's top prosecutor declined to pursue the charges. Portland's acting police chief said Friday a number of the violent rioters have already been arrested at least once before.
We're seeing a lot of the same people at these events night after night after night. And several people have been arrested now more than once for crimes ranging all the way from disorderly conduct to arson and even attempted murder.
He says the district attorney's office is reviewing cases prosecutors previously dismissed if the alleged wrongdoers are arrested again. The mayor says prosecutors and law enforcement leaders have all agreed to hold those who violate the law accountable.